Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of this channel. I hope you're well from wherever you're watching this channel. Now, I want you to take a look at this video. This is a video of Paul Kagame and William Ruto, and that session was dubbed Africa CEO Summit. So I wanted to watch this video, especially because it's in line with what's happening right now in this visit of the US. There is something that Paul Kagame mentioned there. So just watch this video first.
Maybe being invited to the table so they maybe I wanted to clarify the level of hypocrisy and all kinds of stuff we have to deal with. The president mentioned the AGOA. Rwanda was beneficiary of AGOA. Not any longer. We were struck off the list of the beneficiaries. The reasons? Simply because we wanted to promote, develop textiles industries here to make our own garments. And by doing that and encouraging the industries to develop, we said we do not want to have second-hand clothes being dumped here in thousands of tons.
Now, that is Paul Kagame telling William Ruto something. And or rather, we can say Paul Kagame passing a message regarding the West and what the West perceives of Africa. So before you get further on this analysis, please, ladies and gentlemen, like this video, because that is the only way you support the work of our channel. And you can subscribe if you're not subscribed before. And to existing subscribers, thank you so much for giving this channel an opportunity to grow, because without you, this channel could not have been where it is right now. If you listen to that video from Paul Kagame, the message very well, then that is what many people have talked about, the hypocrisy of the West. The hypocrisy of the West. And then in that speech of Paul Kagame, there is a talk of AGOA. You see? So I want to take you straight to a response that William Ruto gave.
Visit since 2015, the US Commerce Secretary says the US is the best partner for Africa, but there is a jostle for Africa with the US, Europe, China, Russia. Who is the best partner? What's the vibe?
The best partner is Rwanda. Okay, even better.
I don't think I have to answer that question. It's been answered. Both by President
Outside
Kagame.
Of African borders, who's the best partner?
So, in the context of what we have said here, the best partner for us is the one that accepts to have a deal that is a win-win. We must continuously, in whatever engagement, we must keep our interests at the center of our focus.
Paul Kagame, previously, before he had some farm stands, was a darling of the West. I can't say that he's not a darling of the West, but Paul Kagame has some farm stands which the West do not okay. That's why you find that most of the time BBC have found themselves at loggerheads with Paul Kagame. So in this particular analysis, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring your attention to this video that I've just shared, the video regarding what Paul Kagame said and how timely that statement was. That statement was released at a time when William Ruto was already planning to travel to the US. That's why Paul Kagame started that message by saying, is Africa on the menu or on the table? You know, those are two distinctions. If you're on the menu, then you are, of course, you are that item that the West can decide to feed on. You know, if you walk into a hotel, you're given a menu that we have kuku sima, then you have maybe this kind of several meals, meal A, meal B, meal C. So you pick which meal you want to, you know, consume at that particular moment. So Paul Kagame was asking whether in Africa, are we on the menu or are we on the table? Because this is a statement that was previously used by William Ruto. So if you look at Paul Kagame's statement regarding AGOA, you know, AGOA gives African states some privilege to, you know, to actually export certain goods duty free, you know. But it's alleged, according to Paul Kagame's statement, that Rwanda was banned from trading under the AGOA banner, you know, meaning some of their goods cannot be, they can't take advantage of AGOA. And there was a time I also learned that South Africa, I mean, that was through Malema, by the way, because Malema shared something that the West used AGOA as a tool to punish Africans. That is, if you differ with them, then they ban you from, you know, accessing AGOA market. So Rwanda's President Paul Kagame exposed Biden in front of William Ruto. The hypocrisy of Biden. That Biden is saying that Africa has a great opportunity, and then it's trying to open up the market for Africa, but banning certain countries from accessing international markets through denial of AGOA access. So this was a bit, if you look at the body language of William Ruto, I was watching William Ruto throughout that session, and despite the fact that he tried to contain it, you know, but the message, based on how I saw it, this message was being delivered to William Ruto and to Biden, that when you go out there, make sure you address the issues of Africa to your friend Biden. I don't know whether my interpretation is correct, because if you saw that video and you've seen the body language and that little response that Ruto had given regarding the same, then I think I have a point here. I think there is something that this all matter, you know. There is something ambayo hii swala zima linaelekea. Kagame alikuwa akona wazo ambalo analifikiria pale. Na hii swala la AGOA, Biden hata kwa sababu Paul Kagame amegandamiza, si kugandamiza, lakini ameweka sheria kali, sheria ambayo inamaanisha kwamba, kwa in fact in that speech, if you listen to it, there's a time he talked about second-hand clothes, you know. In Swahili they call it mitumba, second-hand clothes. That the US sees Africa as a dumping site. Dumping site. So they banned the use of second-hand clothes in their country. That is why US also realized that, okay, if that is the case, then we are also going to ban you from accessing AGOA market. So that is what happened. That's why you find that in Kenya, they've been talking about banning second-hand clothes, not banning second-hand clothes, because they are afraid of the repercussions that might come from the US. If you go to the issue of LGBTQ, allow me to use that also as an example, and the relationship between US and Uganda. There's a time in a previous video I talked about why Uganda were denied access to World Bank loans or IMF loans. And this was a reaction that came from the policies of Uganda to introduce stringent measures to deal with anybody who practices LGBTQ. And because America has its own values, which it is pushing to Africans, and Africans are supposed to agree to those values. Museveni decided to uphold the values of Africans, and the values of Africans, they don't allow LGBTQ practice. So Museveni upheld the values of Africa. The same way to Rwanda. Rwanda does the same. So this move did not sit well with Biden. And Biden did not sit well with Biden. And Biden used his strength, his power, to convince the World Bank, IMF to deny Uganda loan simply because of LGBTQ banning, in the country of Uganda. So this is what Kagame sees as hypocrisy, ladies and gentlemen. The only funny thing is that this was being delivered to Biden through William Ruto's, through William Ruto, because William Ruto was in attendance, and he had to stomach all these complaints, all these attacks on his friend. I'm talking about friend because that is how Biden sees William Ruto, a personal friend. So, ladies and gentlemen, personally, what do you think Kagame was trying to mean there? Because personally, I think Kagame was trying to expose the hypocrisy of Biden. What about you? Just go below the comment section. You can tell us what you think about that. So perhaps if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed, please take 1 second and subscribe, like this video. So until we catch up again, stay safe and stay blessed.